Who ordered Campbell's destruction?
Help!
How did you breach his security?
I don't know. I don't know anything.
You really don't know, do you? Pity. Look at me. Look at me! Well, that was a waste. Ah, a new face. And not just any new face. Aren't you interesting?
Yo, what is up guys? Gamerverse back again here to do another review for you guys today, man. So today we are reviewing a really cool game. Today we are reviewing the recent Vampire, the Bloodlines, the Masquerade 2. Yeah, as you guys can know, this game has been in development for over 2 decades. So it's been 20 years since we played the first Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines. But there has been a couple of like spin-off games, not really like open world RPGs, but more of like novel type of games. You got Vampire, the Masquerade, Bloodlines, the Coteries of New York. That's also a game that's tied to the series, but it's more of like a visual novel type of game. And yeah, I'll be reviewing the game, and as you guys can see by the title, I have tested the game on my GTX 1660 Ti. I just want to say at the beginning of the video, this game has a lot of optimization problems, and be playing with the GTX 1660 Ti, so I will give my review on it. I will give go through all the topics with you guys and give my solid review. But just know that this review doesn't only count for people that has a PC or people that has the GTX 1660 Ti, but it also goes for people who has console, people who has better graphics card than I do. You can still get a lot from this video. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the topic, guys. Let's talk about the legacy first of the game. I'll give you guys a quick recap. Like I said, the first one came out in 2004, and I was 4 years old when the game came out. I remember seeing that game on my brother's computer, and the development for that game took about 2 years itself. There was delays even with the first one, but ultimately the game came out. The first one's graphics isn't that good, as you guys can imagine. 2004 games has PS2 graphics, but the expectation was really high because Bloodlines Masquerade 2 came out after 20 years, and of course the game being in development so long, and for the game to be in development for more than 20 years, a lot of people they expected to have a really good game, but what we got was a very mid experience. I'm saying this from the beginning so that you know, but there are some really good things about the game. I did manage to play the entire story, which I will dive in a little bit later, but that's the legacy of the game. The game had a really good part one. The part one was really good, and we expected this part to really blow us out of the water, which it did do. It didn't, like super disappoint us at all. It did let down a lot of fans, me being a big fan as well. It did let us down a little bit that it didn't do particular things. But with that being said, let's hop into the story. Let's talk about the story and the tone. It is quite darker than you think. So the story shares themes of political, psychological, and moral darkness. There's a big part of the game is dialogue. So there's a lot of dialogue in this game. So be prepared to sit through a lot of dialogue. And there's dialogue choices. You make choices, and the choices that you make in the game does ultimately shape the world and how the game is played, and what characters is ultimately that survives, and whatever, and the writing captures a very gothic, manipulative vampire essence, or you can ask yourself what that actually means, but it is a little bit watered down, and I do want to highlight that they are mature and a little bit disturbing moments that make the game a little bit darker, but it is a vampire game, so of course I expect to see some dark stuff in the game. But with that being said, guys, that is the story. But you also do play with the protagonist. Protagonist can either be a male or a female, and in the beginning of the game you have full control over the protagonist. But you get set in the city called Seattle, which is a real city, by the way, in America. But the game takes place in Seattle. You are a elder vampire who has woken up after 100 years of sleep. So after 100 years of sleep, you finally woke up, and now you have to deal with how and why you were asleep for 100 years, and you've got a mark on your hand, and it's your job to figure out how you got that mark. And while you are in pursuit of figuring out how you got the mark, there are a lot of scenes, or shall I say story themes in the game, where you obviously come across who are the big vampires, who are, you know, the vampires running the city, and you get mixed in everything, and it's a whole crisscross story. And there's a lot of side missions too. I played a couple of the side missions, but I didn't complete all of it, but I did complete the main story. The main story itself, guys, takes about 40 hours to complete. I've been playing this game for like 2 weeks on end. Obviously not playing the game every single day, but at least putting in a couple of hours and playing the game. I did really enjoy the story, and they left a lot of things to be desired in the story. No, actually in the gameplay mechanics, which I will talk about next. Yeah, let's talk about the gameplay. That is the story and the tone of the game, guys. Next, let's talk about the gameplay. How does the combat feel? Melee, you mainly use melee stuff. There is a lot of abilities that you can unlock, like exploding people's hearts and chopping off heads and things like that. So the gameplay consists mainly of melee powers, stealth, and dialogue focus. Like I said, the game is really dialogue based, so be prepared to do a lot of talking and hear a lot of talking. The gameplay does feel a little bit fluid in its melee powers, but there's one thing that fans of the first one hated, is the fact that we don't have any weapons. Yes, you can use weapons, you can use telekinesis to control guns and shoot people, but you can't actually have the guns in your hand. You can't actually like pick up a baseball bat and use a baseball bat. You can use it with telekinesis, you can throw it at people, but ultimately you cannot use these weapons. But that is something that a lot of people wanted because it was in the original game. And yeah, like I mentioned, there's also skill trees, clans that you can focus on. Whatever clan you choose, you get a particular set of powers relating to that clan. So in the beginning of the game, like I said, you wake up from your slumber, and then ultimately you get to decide which clan you want to be a part of. I did end up going with the first clan, which is the Bruja. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But it does change the experience a little bit, and it does change particular dialogue and RPG elements in the game, like the dialogue choices and the morality and different branching parts. I would say that's one of the strongest things about the game. You know, the fact that it has branching parts and, you know, different endings. I think there's about 6 endings, different endings that you can get. And yeah, the gameplay mechanics are just that. I feel like people expected more when it comes to the combat. They expected to actually have melee weapons. We wanted a third-person camera. We wanted more RPG elements. The character customization is so bare bone. You can't really customize much. There's like 5-6 haircuts that you can choose from, and there are only like 20 outfits or like 10 outfits. A lot of people wanted a little bit more when it comes to the RPG elements. We wanted more of the map. The map wasn't that big at all. The map isn't that big at all. The map is very easy to get used to. The map isn't that big at all. We wanted a bigger map. We wanted more RPG elements, though you can go into a couple of the places. There isn't really much to do. It's just a side quest that you can do, but there isn't like any extra activities in the open world, you know, because when I remember the first trailer came out, we were promised like I remember seeing the trailer, and you were going into some sort of club, dancing and playing pool, and, you know, playing these side activities in the game. Even driving car, I think, in the first trailer, and a lot of these things that we were promised we did not receive. And I feel like that's why the game got a score of like 6 out of 10 from IGN. But like you guys know, I do give my final score at the end of the video, my own final score, and that's what I will be doing. Now I do want to talk about the performance of the game, how the game performed for me. The benchmark, I'll give my own benchmark on the screen. Average FPS that I achieved on 1080p was pretty poor. 30 to 40 frames per second on medium settings, and high settings I was getting like 25 frames per second. Graphical settings that I used was medium most of the time, and I did get a lot of stutters and a lot of frame drops, and the game crashed about once. And yeah, this is where the game also falls a little bit short, and I feel like it is really not that good optimized. For PS5 users and Xbox Series X users, I don't know, but I've been seeing videos online of people complaining about the optimization on consoles. It does play good, but it doesn't play the best. And this is one of the things that people were really upset about when the game released. And I don't know if there's going to be any updates for people on PC. Though I am using a little bit of an older graphic card with the GTX 1660 Ti, only having 6 gigabytes of graphic access memory. It's still supposed to be better playable. It's supposed to be a little bit better playable than this, and I mean, it was still playable. Like I actually brought the game down to 1660 by, what is it, 1660 by 1440, I think, or 720, and the game played alright. I was able to play the game and have a solid like 40 to 50 frames per second, sometimes hitting 60. And yeah, that was the performance for me. But let me know how the performance was for you. If you're on console, if you're on PC, what graphics card you were using, let me know below. I would like to hear from you guys. But yeah, and next I want to talk the graphics, lighting. The graphics in the game has a very dark tone visually with the neon lights, the shadow effect, and the urban type of gothic feel. It is always cold and it is always snowy in Seattle, no matter how long you play the game. This will always be the weather, and it is not changeable at all. The character models look a little bit, it looks next gen, but there's sometimes the text just takes a while to pop up for me. And the critique of the lighting, I won't critique it too much, but the lighting is decent, and the environmental design is good. It does immerse you in like a grim vampire world, with it being in the snow. And the S1660 Ti handles the lighting effects is good, but not the ray tracing effects, as I don't have a ray tracing card. And I would like to hear from you guys. Those of you that have ray tracing cards can let me know what you guys think about the ray tracing settings. And the sound design, that's our next topic, guys. Let's talk sound.
Well, or would you prefer to wash first? You positively reek, my dear.
Remember who you're speaking to.
Some call me the Nomad.
Well now, how serendipitously the chips do fall. After 100 years, the Nomad emerges again here in my parlor. So like a brouhaha to reek of undesirables. I suppose I must simply endure. But you, the one who ran circles around the Inquisition. Not that it's hard, the poor dears. Such an honor.
You flatter me.
Oh.
The music was good, though there isn't a lot of music in the game. The dialogue quality was really good. It sets the mood, and it really, for a game that is very heavily dialogue based, it's really good to have good sound, because you'll be hearing people talk a lot in the game, and the soundtrack is very eerie, sometimes modern, sometimes nostalgic, similar to the first game. And yeah, I think the voice actors had some really good standout performances and some memorable dialogue moments in the game too. So yeah, I think the sound design is really good. Yeah, and like I said, there are some bugs, the technical issues on the game. Like the game crashed once on me with me playing it for more than 40 hours. There were some bugs, there were some texture pop-ins that I didn't like, but I got used to that to the charm of the game, and I overlook these things because the story of the game got really good. And from early previews, like I saw, I feel like the game still feels very much unfinished when it comes to the performance and the optimization. They do need to work on that a little bit more. And then, like I also said, the game isn't what we wanted as fans, but we got this is what we got. And I would very much encourage them for the next one, if there will be a next one. Give us more, give us a bigger map, give us more customization, give us better optimization, give us also more things to do in the city, and more RPG elements like the first one. The first one had way more things like when it comes to the RPG elements of the game. So yeah, next I want to talk verdict, guys. My honest conclusions. Does it live up to the legacy of the game? In terms of the story, I think it does. In terms of the story, it definitely does. But in terms of like the RPG elements and more of like the immersion in terms of the open world and everything, it didn't live up to that in terms of the first one. The first one might even be better than that. So yeah, is it actually darker or is it just trying too hard? I think it's a mixture. It's in the middle. It's some middle ground. And how does it run for budget gamers like me and you, who's on the GTX 1660 Ti? It could run better. It doesn't run good, to be honest with you. You're gonna have to tweak your settings if you are using a GTX 1660 Ti. You're gonna have to be tweaking your settings. Go ahead and play with the settings. Change the resolution. That really helped me, and the game played really smooth after that. Don't be afraid to change your resolution, though. I know a lot of you guys don't like doing that, but you will have to do that if you do want a solid 50 to 60 frames per second experience. You're gonna have to do that. And the rating that I'm giving this game, final score, I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I want to give it a 6.5, but I think it deserves a 7 out of 10 just because of the story. It's not perfect. The game is not perfect at all, but it is unforgettable in terms of the story and the experience. I think the story experience of the game is great, though there was always me thinking that I wish I could customize my vampire more than this, and I wish I could do more things in Seattle, but no, I couldn't. But yeah, guys, that is my final score for Vampires the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Let me know what you guys think, though. Let me know if you played the game. Let me know if you're planning to play it. Yeah, I would like to hear from you guys. And yeah, like this video, guys. Subscribe to my channel for some more awesome content like this. And I have been Gamerverse, guys, and of course I will see you in another video.